Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans around the world, welcome back to the channel. I know you've been waiting for this one, and today we've got a real doozy to talk about. We're diving into the Dallas Cowboys, and honestly, this is a tough one to swallow. From a game that seemed like it was right there for the taking, to a collapse that left us all stunned, and as if that wasn't enough, we got even worse news coming out after the game. That's right. It's not just about a bad loss. It's about a massive injury that could potentially derail this entire season. If you're a Cowboys fan right now, you've got to be feeling frustrated, and I don't blame you one bit. So let's take a deep breath and break this all down. This one's going to be a roller coaster, folks. The Dallas Cowboys came into this matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals full of hope and promise. They'd already shown that they could hang with the best in the NFL, especially after a few key victories that had their fan base buzzing. With a 5-2 record, they were starting to look like a team that could compete for a Super Bowl. The defense had been elite, with players like Michael Parsons leading the charge, and the offense, while not perfect, had been putting up enough points to win. There was this feeling that maybe, just maybe, this could be the year the Cowboys put it all together and made a deep playoff run. But of course it's the NFL, and in the NFL things can change in the blink of an eye, and that's exactly what happened in this game. The Cowboys were up 20-17 with just under 2 minutes left, and all they had to do was hold on for dear life. One more stop, one more clutch play, and the game was theirs. A win would have kept them in control of their playoff destiny and set them up for an easy week of preparation. But instead of closing out the game, the Cowboys did what they do best: blow it. The Bengals' offense, led by Joe Burrow, didn't flinch. Burrow, cool as a cucumber, led his team down the field on a 75-yard drive that took barely any time off the clock. There was a sense of inevitability as they got closer to the red zone. And, sure enough, just when it looked like the Cowboys would pull off a miracle stop, Burrow found a wide-open receiver in the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. Just like that, the Cowboys' dreams were dashed. Again. But here's the thing, this wasn't just a case of the defense letting them down. No, this collapse wasn't just about the defensive players missing a stop. This was a complete team failure, and it's something we've seen time and time again with the Cowboys. The offense, especially Dak Prescott, had chances to extend the lead and put the game away earlier. But Prescott couldn't find his rhythm. There were critical throws that he just missed, and those missed opportunities ended up being what haunted them in the end. At some point, you've got to ask, is Dak Prescott really the quarterback that's going to get this team over the hump? We've all seen the flashes of brilliance, but when it comes to closing out games, especially against high-level teams like the Bengals, there's this lingering doubt that maybe he's not quite the guy. His inability to come through in key moments was a huge factor in this loss. Yes, the defense collapsed, but Dak's mistakes were a part of the puzzle too. And while that was enough to leave Cowboys fans frustrated, we got some more bad news after the game that just made everything worse. DeMarvion Overshown, who had been a breakout star for the Cowboys this season, went down with a knee injury in the third quarter. Now, let's put this into perspective. Overshown wasn't just another rookie linebacker. No, he was someone who had shown promise from the very beginning. The Cowboys drafted him with hopes that he would become a versatile, dynamic playmaker who could cover a lot of ground and contribute in multiple areas. And guess what? He had done just that. He was everywhere on defense. His speed and instincts allowed him to make plays all over the field. In fact, in the early part of the season, Overshown was starting to look like one of the most promising rookies on the defense. But then in the third quarter of this game, it all came crashing down. Overshown went down after a hard hit, clutching his knee, and it was immediately clear that this wasn't a minor issue. As he was carted off the field, the Cowboys' sideline went silent. You could feel the mood in the stadium shift. Fans knew just how important he had been to the defense, and with him out, the sense of dread started to creep in. And then came the news. The injury could be serious. Season-ending serious. We don't have all the details yet, but all signs are pointing to this being a devastating blow to a defense that was already starting to show signs of wear and tear. With Leighton Vander Esch already out, losing Overshown, a player who had been making such an impact, is a gut punch. This isn't just about depth. This is about a starter going down, a player who was becoming one of the most reliable defensive pieces for Dallas. The linebacker group was already thin, and now, with Overshown likely done for the season, that thinness is about to be exposed in a major way. The Cowboys now face a serious challenge of replacing him. Do they turn to Jabril Cox, a player who's shown flashes of potential but hasn't been given a consistent role? Or does the team look to free agency for a veteran presence to help fill the gap? And while all this is happening, let's not forget about the bigger picture. The Cowboys' defense was supposed to be the backbone of this team, especially when the offense was still trying to find its rhythm. Losing Overshown, along with Vander Esch's injury, could completely derail the Cowboys' defensive scheme. This is a team that's been relying on a dominant front seven to make up for some of the weaknesses in the secondary. But now that core is significantly weakened. The pressure on Micah Parsons to carry the entire defense is growing by the day, and it's going to be hard for him to do it all on his own, especially without the help of players like Overshown. Now, let's turn the page and talk about what's next for this Cowboys team. The loss to the Bengals was bad enough, but the injury to Overshown adds a new layer of difficulty for this already struggling team. The Cowboys are in a tight race for the playoffs, and with the NFC East still within reach, every game is critical. But they're going to need to get their act together fast. They have a few winnable games ahead, but with the defense now short-handed and the offense still trying to find its rhythm, it's hard to say if they can put together a complete performance. Can Dak Prescott carry this team on his back? Will the defense step up without Overshown and Vander Esch? These questions are now more important than ever, and the answers will define the remainder of the season. The next few weeks are going to be pivotal for this team. If they can't figure out a way to adapt to the injuries and continue to close out games, they might be in for a rough stretch. But if they rally together and start playing to their potential, especially on defense, they could still make a push for the playoffs and maybe even make some noise once they get there. Cowboys fans, this is your moment. What do you think? Can Dak Prescott lead this team to the promised land? Can the defense hold it together without Overshown? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're feeling as frustrated as I am, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already a part of the crew, and turn on notifications, because this season is far from over, and I'll be here with all the updates, analysis, and breakdowns. Until next time, Cowboys Nation, stay strong. We've got a lot more to come, but for now, let's hope this team can figure it out before it's too late. See you next time.